Today we are going to have an art book haul. Normally I don't tend to buy that many art books, however after the video where I asked for some advice on landscape paintings, several of you left some really good book recommendations, so I bought a couple of those as well as a couple of other ones that looked really interesting. So this isn't going to be an in-depth review of each of these books, but I just wanted to show you guys the books I got and my first impressions of them. First off, we have the Watercolor Ideas book by Jonah Goss, and I bought this book because I got a advice. They recommended me that I should watch Landscape Artist of the Year TV series because then it opens you up to all the different styles of landscape painting, and then you can find out what's possible rather than just stick to one type. And I got this book on the same kind of thought track because it has lots and lots of different styles of what you can do with watercolor from many different artists. And it's a really nice book because I know some of the artists already, like I can tell already that is Yao Cheng, and there is also a few other artists that I'm like, oh, I know them. And it's just lots and lots of different styles and lots of different opportunities and possibilities in what you can do. And I think this is a great book if you're feeling stuck, if you're wanting to explore or be inspired by another technique. And so this is going to be a keeper on my bookshelf. This is another artist that I know really well because I follow him on Twitter. I'll leave a link to his Twitter in the description down below, and I will also leave links down below for where you can get these books on Amazon. And I just think it's a beautiful, inspiring book to have for when you're feeling a little bit stuck or a little bit samey or just want a new idea to do, which is great for me because you know me, I like to see an idea and take it in my own tangent and explore where I can get to it. So this is definitely going to be a keeper. Next one is a book called Everyday Watercolor: Learn to Paint Watercolor in 30 Days by Jenna Rainey. I think it's Rainey. And this book is set out to be like day 1, day 2, day 3 up to day 31, and it's just a really nice introductory book to watercolor techniques. But the reason why I liked this book is because it takes you from one day to the next, building on the previous day's work or the technique you learned, all the way up to things that are a bit more complicated and complex, and you end up painting several final finished pieces using the techniques she goes through. And I think that's really good for somebody like me who's not had formal training, like a systematic training in watercolor. I feel like I missed out some of the steps and I just want to go back, and I know some of these techniques. So I think this book is a good checklist book if you are a self-taught or self-guided learner like myself and you have this little anxiety of, I don't feel like I have had a systematic, thorough understanding of watercolor techniques at a beginner's level and I feel like I'm missing out there, then I highly recommend this book. This book I don't think will be a forever keeper like the last book. I think I am going to go through this book and go, okay, I can do that one, I can do that one, no I can't do that one, let's try that one, and once I'm done I will pass this book on to someone else. Next book I have is A Carson Guide to Landscape Painting, and this was one of the books that were recommended to me in the landscape painting video where I asked for some advice, and they did warn me that it was written quite a while back, so it is wordy, and this was written in first published, copyrighted in 1929, and I've read about, I'm about 40 pages in, And I have to agree, it is written in the language of its time. I don't have a particular problem understanding what he's saying because I spent a lot of my PhD reading books from the 1920s and around the area when I was reading a lot about typing errors and how to teach typing in an efficient way, blah blah blah. That was a whole lot of fun. So I'm used to this language, but his writing is quite waffly, which is the style of the time. I wish someone would rewrite this book in more straightforward modern language. I think that would make the book a lot more accessible than it is, because at the moment I'm having to read a sentence or a paragraph and then modernize it and simplify what he means. But he has very interesting theories about the values of landscape that is a good rule of thumb to do and things. So I think this book has a lot of good theory in it that is concrete and solid, or at least I hope it will. I'm about here and I still have this much to read through. It is a read through rather than see. So if you are like me, who tends to do better with visual guides, there's no colored images on here, it's all black and white like this. So if you're more into visual diagrams explaining you things and less reliant on the words, then maybe this isn't the book for you. It is definitely a hard going read, but if you're willing to fight through the words, then it will probably have a lot of good solid theory behind it. From what I've read so far, it's been interesting to learn about his theories on landscape painting so far. Then the final book that I bought is The Complete Watercolorist's Essential Notebook by Gordon Mackenzie. Now he has DVD courses on Artist Network as well. And when I got this book, I was pleasantly surprised because on Amazon this looks like a really boring book, and then when I got all 4 books, I realized I was most excited about this one. First of all, it's a lot thicker than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like this, you know, the standard about that thick a book that most art books come in. But no, it is massive. How many pages is it? It has 281 pages, so it is massive. It's a compendium, it's an encyclopedia, it's not a notebook. The other thing that I was really excited about is, as you can see, it is just full of illustrations and diagrams and full of color, and it's just really exciting to me. It's not just the step-by-step paintings, but also the diagrams to show you exactly what he means, which I really appreciate as someone who understands things visually a lot easier than with words. It's why I don't tend to buy that many art books, is because I find learning from things like videos a lot easier than books, because books are words, and I tend to find that because I have dyslexia, I have severe dyslexia, so I find it really hard to understand what's going on. But when it has this many diagrams of each point he's trying to make, I think it's really awesome, and I am so excited to be going through this. I really like this book because it is almost like seeing it in a video with just how much visual and diagrams he puts in there to help you understand. I think this is someone who understands that artists tend to be visual thinkers, which is wonderful. I am most excited about this book. As I said, I will work on an in-depth review of these books as I read through them, but this is my first impression. This one's a keeper for inspiration for when I'm stuck. This is great for using as a checklist if you're a beginner watercolor. This is really wordy and only recommended for people who are good with words and who wants to get the theory of landscape painting down. And then this book is just a really awesome, fun book to read that is really, really thorough. So I would say if I were to only recommend one book out of this 4, it will definitely be the complete Watercolorists Essential Notebook, because it has so much information. It is a really, really good value for your money. And then maybe this one. So these 2 are my 2 top recommendation for anybody, because this is inspirational for anybody and this is a whole load of good information for anybody who's into watercolor. I hope you enjoyed this first impression look at these books. Do let me know which one you like the best. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!